Welcome to day 3 of our 7 day of emotional healing. Whew, y'all, we made it to day 3. Oh my gosh. Consistency, right? Stay consistent, stay lovable, stay true to you, right? Walk it like you talk it. I don't know why this song came on. Walk it like I talk it. Walk it like I talk it. Yes. Big mama energy right now. But welcome to day 3. Today we talking about the mirror. The moment you stop running from yourself and and you start looking at what's really there. When you stop, healing isn't just around healing isn't just about who hurt you. It's also about how you've been hurt trying to survive. Let me ask you this. Have you ever noticed how easy it is to list the people who disappointed you? How easy it is to name the people who hurt you? But it's harder to admit the ways you disappointed yourself. It's harder to admit the ways you hurt yourself. That's what the mirror shows us. It doesn't reflect our wounds. It reflects our choices, our patterns, and our power to change. Unhealed emotions often push us to self-abandonment. We shrink so we don't be seen too much. We silence ourselves so others stay comfortable. We sabotage opportunities because safety feels so much better than growth, so much easier than growth. It is not better, but it sounds easier than growth. Growth puts you up to a challenge, but feeling safe or being in that comfy net, yeah, yeah. And here's the hard truth: sometimes the person who really hurt us the most is us, it's you. But here's the good news: healing begins when you can look yourself in the mirror and say, "Yes, I was part of the pattern, aka the problem, but I'm choosing something new." That's not shame. That's power. That's ownership. So let me just pause right here and ask you, what's one way you've been abandoning yourself? Maybe in your relationship, your work, or even your own thoughts. Talk about the healing. I'm gonna talk about the little healing that I had to do with my parents, because as I got older, this is before I even this after I became a parent. After I became a parent, I started seeing the sacrifices, and I started understanding my parents a little bit more, as a person, as their character, because I was expecting more from them than what they was actually giving me, but I didn't realize that that was their capacity. As a parent, I understand now that they did the best that they could with what they had. And I had to look myself in the mirror and say, why am I holding this resentment toward my parents when now I can understand why they did what they did? So it's like I had to face myself in the mirror and say, hey, I got to release this energy. I got to release this resentment that I have for my parents, because they didn't give me a better life, as I call it, or they didn't do certain things as I wanted them to do. But now as I'm a parent, I actually see the capacity that you could be capped at to provide or have this structure or this stability for your child. But it had for me to go through that, to see that, in order for me to look myself in the mirror and be okay with that. Because a lot of us, we don't even have mirrors in our house. I remember for a long time I didn't even have mirrors in my house besides in a bathroom, or if it wasn't already in the wall, I ain't having nowhere else. Okay. Nowhere else. But now I'm a person of mirrors. I'm a person of confidence. I'm a person of, I like looking at myself. Not only looking at myself when I'm going through something, I like looking myself in the mirror, because I have to ask myself, where, one, I need to name where this emotion is coming from, and then two, I need to set a boundary so I won't feel this pain anymore. And now, since I did those two, now I can look myself in the mirror and say, hey, I know I did the right thing. I know I set the right boundary. I know I named that wound the right name. Where have you abandoned yourself just to be accepted? What truth about yourself, you can face without shame? Because that's what the mirror really reflects. If you can't look at yourself in the mirror, it's some type of shame that you bring to yourself, and you have to identify, name it. Name that shame. What is that shame? That you can't look yourself in the mirror and say, damn, I look good. Or I know I'm a great person. Whatever you need to say. I don't know. You know your life. If your reflection could talk back to you, what would it say? What would it say right now to you? If you staring yourself in the mirror, because I'm looking myself in the mirror right now. If y'all can see, my mirror is right in front of me. What my reflection would say, damn girl, you look good. You came a long way. You're no longer that person that you was last year. Like, you really look good. Stay in this energy. And I can speak to myself that way because I named that wound that I was carrying for so long. And over the time, I healed. I'm still healing. Healing is not a journey where it comes to a complete stop. You continue to heal because you continue to grow. Because every day we strive to be the best version of ourselves. I remember a long time ago, I was watching this person on YouTube. This is when YouTube was, everybody wants to be on YouTube. Everybody had something to say. And this girl was saying, hey, I'm going to write myself a letter. And I'm going to mail it to myself. And I did that. I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. You know what I'm saying? Because it takes about 3 or 4 days for it to come back to you. And that's what the exercise she had us do. And we did it. And when I wrote myself, I might do it again, because when I wrote myself and I got that 3 or 4 days, like, so much stuff had happened within those 3 or 4 days. It made me read my letter more proud of myself. Like, it made me read my letter like, dang, I got this. I truly got this. Because I don't know about y'all, but a lot can happen in 3 or 4 days. A lot. So that's what I want y'all to do. Write a letter to yourself. Not for correction, not to critique it, just from passion. Just for the compassion that you would have for yourself. Write to yourself the way that you would write to a friend who's been going through some things that you've been going through. Tell yourself, I see you. I forgive you. I'm proud of you surviving. Don't forget to put those things in there. Because a lot of us just want to be seen. Do you see me? Every time I think of it, I just think of, Pastor Mike. He was like, do you see me? I don't care who around me, but the people that's around me, do you see me? And we have to learn how to forgive ourselves. A lot of times we think that the forgiveness is for the other person so they could feel better or we could feel better, whatever the case may be. But all the time, the forgiveness is really for you so you can name that wound and you can begin to heal. And then you set that boundary up and say, hey, I'm no longer accepting this. I don't care who you are. I don't care where you come from. Well, hey, God, where are you going? I don't care where. I'm not doing it. This isn't about fixing, it's about caring for yourself. Because compassion is the soul of the healing process. A lot of people don't have compassion for themselves. They are so... I talk to people daily. My job consists of me speaking to people daily. And I can tell you, every day I speak to somebody, I at least talk to 5 people that you don't have no compassion for yourself. None. You think everything that you have done in your life is put on you because of whatever the case may be. A lot of us, we got to show ourselves a little compassion. Stop being so hard on yourself. Hey, shoot. Life is already hard enough, right? Getting up every day going to work for somebody else's company is hard enough. I just ran. Look, you talking. I had a meltdown there. But, that's what emotional healing is. You know what I'm saying? If you have more compassion for yourself, that's the start of it all. Start showing yourself a little bit more compassion. And when you look yourself in the mirror, start giving yourself that. I remember I was reading Exodus 3:4. And I remember it saying God called to him from the within the bush. He was talking to Moses. He was like, Moses, Moses, Moses. Moses was out there chilling, just doing what he doing. God didn't call a perfect man, he called a present man. And a lot of times we look for perfection in other people. But are they present? Are they present in their life? How are they showing up for you? Matter of fact, how are you showing up for yourself? Are you present with yourself? I know, as adults, we could get caught up in the routine. Got to go to work, got kids, got a husband, just all up in the American dream, whatever the case may be. But are you showing up for you? How are you showing up for you in this present moment? How are you showing yourself compassion? If you're stretching yourself thin for everybody else, and you have nothing left for yourself. You can't even look yourself in the mirror because you don't like the way that you look. Or you don't like the decisions that you have made. And that's what Exodus, I feel like that's what I got from go to my Bible study. We do Bible study, okay, AKA. But that's that mirror effect. Healing begins when you stop hiding and say, here I am. I'm not perfect. I'm not polished, but I'm here. I'm present. Self-reflection isn't a weakness. It's bravery. It's when your practice, it's like when you practice it, you model emotional responsibility for the people who's watching you, especially as a parent. Gen Zs, you show your peers that authenticity is the strength of it all. You're proving that being real is more powerful than being perfect. Your gift is honesty. You're not afraid to name your struggle out loud. That courage challenged millennials who often learn to wear the mask of I'm fine while burning out in the inside. When you show up raw and real, you give millennials permission to drop the performance and face the truth. That's what you do for us, Gen Zs. It's like having, millennials are older sister and the Gen Z is the younger sister. The younger sister gonna come in hot, heavy, raw, and real. And that's what they give millennials. You give us the permission to say, okay, it's okay to speak my truth. But also millennials know there's a boundary that needs to be set in place. It's not what you say, it's how you say it. It's not what you do, it's how you do it. But sometimes our mirrors get a little cloudy with, y'all mirrors get a little cloudy with comparison, scrolling, likes, validation, your reflection. You got to ask yourself, am I being real or am I performing? Am I living my truth or am I chasing validation? Here's what you can teach the rest of us. Authenticity is strength. You remind us that being real is more powerful than being perfect. But the real question is, what part of yourself is real, even when no one is watching? Millennials, you remind us that burnout doesn't have to be your story. By facing yourself, you're rewriting the script up for your kids, your coworkers, your friends. Your gift is courage to reset. Millennials is not scared to start over. We're not scared to start over. But it's our willingness to say, this isn't working. I need balance. That challenged Gen X, who were taught to push through and carried it all. When you model that it's okay to pause, to pivot, to protect your peace, you show Gen X that self-reflection isn't a weakness, it's wisdom. Here's what you teach the rest of us. It's okay to reset. It's okay to start over. It's okay to redo something. It's okay to say, this isn't working. I need balance. I need to find the middle ground. I need to figure it out right now. You remind us that boundaries and balance are not selfish. They're survival. Even when we carry that guiltiness, millennials, especially when it comes to our family, our friends, our career, all that, because we feel like we're falling behind or we have to play catch up or this person is ahead of us or we behind here. Like, you got to ask yourself, am I living for myself or if I'm living for the surviving the expectations that others have placed on me or I have placed on myself because of my surrounding environments? What truth are you ready to face? Even when you disappoint others, like that's what you gotta ask yourself. If I disappoint my mom or my daddy, whatever the case may be, am I living in my truth? Is it my truth? Gen X, you prove it's never too late to face yourself with honesty and courage. You're showing that wisdom comes from not hiding, comes from not from hiding the scars, but owning them. And that's what day one taught me too. Not just covering up that scar, that pain, that wound that others have caused up on you, but putting a name to it. Gen X, your gift is perspective. You lived enough life to know that facing yourself doesn't break you. It makes you stronger. The steadiness is something Gen Z needs because sometimes their reflection feels overwhelming. When you show them that the possibilities to face the mirror at any age and still grow, because baby, the Gen X our culture out here, they out here doing it. I don't know if y'all on TikTok or Facebook or Instagram or Twitch or Smitch, whatever, whatever threads. I don't care, baby. The Gen X people out here doing it. Have y'all seen these grandmas and grandpas out here? Okay, they out here doing it. Who grandma is this? I be scrolling down TikTok. Who grandpa is this? What is going on here? Are they aging backwards? What's going on? What is going on with Gen X? But but that's y'all. That's y'all. When you show people that the possibility to face the mirror at any time and age and still grow, you anchor them in hope. You anchor people in the choice to choose that this could be my outcome. Oh yeah, I'm going in. This could be the end result for me. I might have started this way, but this could be the end. This is okay. I'm in there. That often y'all reflect on decades of carrying responsibility and acts. In a thought of even if it sacrifice you losing yourself in the process. I know that could be overwhelming. The belief to self-reflection is selfish, But I gotta ask you this: what truth do you need to face so you can live a softer life in this season? When you look in the mirror, you're not just healing yourself; you're teaching others how to heal too. Gen Z, your mirror is the authenticity. Keep that. Show up real. Show up raw. Show up you. Millennials, you're about balance. And I'm going to stand on it. I really truly believe that millennials are the bridge to connect the Gen X and Gen Zs because there's a lot of differences in them. But if you have a middle ground, you have that bridge, you could bring that balance. We bring balance to the world. That's what millennials do. We didn't know why. We didn't know why they named us millennials, But now I understand. We bring the balance to the workplace. We bring the balance to the family. We bring it. Because we was raised by Gen X who now has the wisdom. They was dropping wisdom. Have you ever had a grandpa or an older person, you having a conversation with them, and in that conversation, they just dropping rhythms? Is this a nursery rhyme conversation or what? They dropping here and there. My grandma and my grandpa used to, no, my grandpa used to say, if you practice, no, my grandma used to say, if you practice to deceive, what a terrible web you will weave. And she would say that all the time, just randomly. I'm on the phone talking to my friends, and here she come passing by saying, if you practice to deceive, oh, what a terrible web you will weave. It was like, okay. My grandpa used to be like, what my grandpa used to say? My grandpa used to say, a fool can't argue by themselves. And I didn't understand what that mean. I be on the phone arguing with my boyfriend. A fool can't argue by themselves. And I feel like that got dropped down to my mama and that got dropped down to us. Now I find myself saying little nursery rhymes in conversation because it just flows better. That's crazy, right? When we put these pieces together, we don't just see ourselves, we see the full picture of healing. The mirror isn't just personal, it's generational. And when one generation heals, it creates the space for others to heal too. Here's how we build a bridge. Go ahead and drop y'all generation down in the comment. Share one of your truth, that you can tell yourself in the mirror. Then read somebody else and respond to it. That's how we build this community. I show up, y'all show up. That's how we do this. Okay? But, before we close, we out day 1, day 2, this day 3. We have a little chant. And I want y'all to say this with me. I'm going to say it, then y'all going to repeat it as we did before. I would not run from my reflection. I will face my truth with courage. I am worthy of healing, even here in this moment. If you have a mirror behind you, mirror in front of you, mirror on side you, whatever the case may be, just say these things again. I'm going to say it 2 more times, and I'm going to put it on the screen when I edit this video, okay? I will not run from my reflection. I will face my truth with courage. I am worthy of healing, even in this moment. What's one truth your mirror is showing you right now? Speak it out loud. Forget writing it down. Speak it out loud. My mirror is showing me you came a long way. If people really knew your story, you came a long way. Stay consistent. Stay lovable. Stay true to you. Take care.